Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is in the world that you are viewing from. Welcome to Collective Consciousness, your fortnightly edition, which is streaming to you live via Facebook and YouTube. We really do appreciate your company here on the channel. And as all of my regular viewers know, I'm going to say the first thing to get things kicked off here tonight. Please do share Spiritual Psychics TV out there. You can share them out to your Facebook pages and indeed any other social media pages by copy and pasting the link, which you will probably see in the graphics bar just below on the screen here. As I say, we are streaming live, so there is approximately a 10 to 15 second time delay when you place your comments to us receiving them and vice versa. So patience is a virtue on both sides. If we do, and I say we do, that's myself and my lovely guest medium here this evening, if we do make a connection with you here today, please do converse with us through the comments or the chat box as quickly as you can, because that just allows the vein of the message to continue to grow and flow. And for those who are maybe joining for the first time here this evening, a very warm welcome to you. Welcome to Spiritual Psychics TV and Collective Consciousness, a show which is purely dedicated to mediumship, where myself and a guest medium every fortnight have the great pleasure of sharing the virtual platform, connecting with your past loved ones, family members and friends in the realms of spirit. I'm going to say a few hellos, but I'd also like to say a few hellos to some of the lovely newbies that may be joining for the first time. And indeed, I'd love to know where it is that you are joining us from. What part of the world are you viewing from there, guys? Interact with us. This is your show as much as it is ours. We love to see all of your comments. We love to see all of your chats going on as the program evolves. And before we get things kicked off, as I say, I want to say a few hellos. So I can see that we've got Angela Waltonsdome, who is saying hi from Salford and Manchester, and you're watching via Facebook. Thank you, Angela, for holding space. We really do appreciate you. The lovely Stace Shaw joins us via YouTube saying good evening, Bill and Phil. Bill and Phil, it rhymes, doesn't it? And Stacey's joining via YouTube, as well as Anne Swantek, who says hi. Hi there to you, Anne. Thank you for holding space. Christine Davis also joins via YouTube. Hello, Christine. Thank you for being here. Lovely to have your company, as well as the lovely June Malkin, one of the Wombles, who's saying, yay, already for Bill and Phil there, June. Lovely. Terry Louise also joined saying hi, Bill, Phil, Richard, and everyone. Hello to you, Terry. Thank you for being here and holding space, my lovely. Julie Wentz is joining via Facebook, saying hi, Bill, and all new to you. Well, Julie, you are very, very welcome. Thank you for being here and holding space. The School of Conscious Evolution is joining as well via YouTube. It's Daniela, and she's saying hello, everybody. Good evening, Bill. Good evening to you, and thank you for being here and holding space, Daniela. Lovely to have your company. Melody Hart joins us from Facebook and all the way in Illinois. So thank you for being here, Melody. It's lovely to have your company, as well as Margaret Mays, who joins from Hinckley, Leicestershire. I'm going to be bringing my guest medium on screen in a couple of minutes, guys, because I'd like to introduce him to those of you that have maybe not seen him work before, and also for him to engage and acknowledge a few of you joining us here today at Collective Consciousness. Alicia Jane, you are based in Derbyshire and you are joining us via Facebook this evening. It's great to have your company. Thank you so much for holding space, as well as Walter Stain, who is joining via Facebook all the way over in South Africa. So this is phenomenal. It's amazing that we're reaching so many different countries here. And as I say, guys, please don't forget to share us out there to all your personal pages, and indeed any spiritual pages that you may feel this show is of relevance to. We don't want to end up in Bridget's laundrette Facebook page. Oh, no. That's not for us here at the channel. Any spiritual pages and your personal pages, please and thank you. And Julie Wentz is saying, I'm in Wisconsin, USA. Welcome to you, Julie. So producer Richard, would you bring our lovely guest medium on screen so we can do a few introductions? Thank you very much indeed. And there you are, Mr. Phil Shaw. How are you this evening, sir?
I'm very well indeed, Mr. Hughes, and it's a great privilege to be on your show. after all this time. I'd given up hope of you ever asking me, but here we are. Yeah.
Well,
Had to get that one in.
I could not ask you, could I? I mean, you
No,
actually
you could.
formed part of my learning.
He'd never be allowed at Wimbledon Spiritualist Church ever again if he didn't admit me.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Oh, all said in lovely
Bill,
jest.
it's lovely to have you here on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time out and share your gift and your energy here with us at Collective Consciousness. For those that have maybe not seen your work or don't know you, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody at home a little bit about yourself?
Okay. I don't want to bore everybody with a long introduction, but I've just written something very, very short to give you a kind of a flavour of my background and what I'm doing currently. So I started training at the SAGB, the Spiritualist Association of Great Britain, and I'm not going to bore people that already know this story, but basically I got diverted on my way to a business meeting in Belgrave Square, and suddenly an invisible hand pushed me sideways through the revolving doors at the Spiritualist Association building, and I ended up in a demonstration of mediumship being given by the wonderful Mrs. Ivy Northich, who picked me out of the crowd and said, young man, would you see me after the demonstration? I have something very important to tell you. So I met with Ivy, and to cut a very long story short, she said, have you been developing your mediumship? And I said, no, I don't even know what that is. And she said, well, I will teach you everything you need to know. Would you like to join my class this week? So really, the rest is history. I did join Ivy's class. I worked with her for 2 years at the SAGB. I then followed her to the College of Psychic Studies. We worked together for 3 years, developing evidential mediumship. And then she said, well, I think you're ready for trance now, dear boy. So we shall proceed with the trance under the tutelage of my spirit guide, Chan. So I was indeed extremely privileged to be tutored by Chan for a further 2 years. So I did a total of 5 years training, and that was interspersed with very immersive training at the Arthur Findlay College under the tutelage of Gordon Higginson, Glyn Edwards, and Ursula Roberts. So that sort of brings me up to date with the training process. And, I really benefited from training with exceptional teachers and mentors and spiritual inspirers over the past 35 years. Now I'm located, as Bill has already told you, at Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, and I demonstrate in the London area, South London, Surrey, and the South Coast. And I'm a very, very staunch campaigner for learning mediumship in the time it takes to really understand all there is to know about mediumship. And I champion any teacher and any pupil that is moving along the pathway of patience, dedication, trust in self, discipline, perseverance, courage, stamina, and hard work. All qualities I had to learn at drama school before becoming a professional actor. So one has sort of blended into the other, and this is where I am now. So that's a very, very, well, more than a brief introduction, but I hope it gives you an idea of where I've been and what I'm doing.
Well, amen to that. There's some really, really hard-hitting points that you just said there, Phil, with regards to that dedication and the admiration for all those that are developing and all those that teach, because this isn't a process, as we very much know, that we can learn in 5 minutes and then take the title or the status as a medium or such like. And I remember the days when I was first developing and came along to the open platform at Wimbledon that you were mentoring, and I've still not managed to nail my feet to the platform. I still move all over the place. I just can't help it. I can't stand still. I've got the jitterbug, Phil.
I think that was one main note to you, wasn't it, Bill? Try standing still.
It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. To sit here like this is a real challenge every fortnight, Phil. But hey ho, that's the way we're.
Anyway, you ain't turned out too bad, mate, have you? Not too bad.
So we've got some lovely feedback coming through here. LJ saying, wow, amazing, Phil. And Stacey saying, don't do things by half, hey Phil, lol, proper job, as
That's
they
it, Stacey.
say. Absolutely. So there we go. It's not only myself that's just picked up on some of those poignant words that you just shared there. It's also some of our lovely viewers. Shall we say a few more hellos before we get
Yes,
things started here
let's
this
do that.
evening? Over to you, my friend.
So, good evening, Stephen Goodwin, who is saying hi and good evening all. Lovely dog there, Stephen. And Lorraine Cliff. Hi, everyone. Hope you're well, and I hope you're well too, Lorraine. It's great to see you on SBTV, and thank you for joining. Over to you, Bill.
We've got Sylvia Mans, who is from Aberdeenshire, who's saying hi, good evening to you, Sylvia. Thank you for holding space via Facebook.
And Francesca Faith. Good evening, Francesca. Hi, she's saying first time here. So very, very warm welcome to you, Francesca, and I hope you enjoy the programme tonight. And also
Absolutely.
Ross Howarth saying good evening, and good evening to you, Ross, and it's a pleasure to see you on the show.
Absolutely. Kirsty King joins us from Pembrokeshire, and she's also watching via Facebook. So good evening, Kirsty. Lovely to have your company. Thank you for holding space.
Wow, here's one. Now we have CH3MASTR3R. Chessmaster. Hello from the Scottish borders. So good evening. Good evening to you, and welcome from the Scottish borders. Tina Gray. Tina Gray from Oxfordshire. Good evening, Tina. Thank you for being here.
Joanne Ripper is based in Suffolk in the UK, and she's joining us via Facebook. So thank you for holding space, Joanne.
Yes, and I believe we saw Julie's name before, but Julie Wentz. Hi, all. I'm in Wisconsin, US. And nice to see you, Julie, and thank you for joining us from Wisconsin. And Claire Pound. Hi from Poole and Dorset. So good to see you, and I hope the weather's not as bad down there as it is here at the moment, Claire.
Christine saying, I've spoken to Phil about my journey. He was very helpful. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you, Christine.
A mindful of knowledge. I totally agree with you there, Christine. And Valerie Gill is saying, hello from Florida. Hello to you, Valerie. Thank you for holding space here with us on Facebook. We're going to get things kicked off in just a minute here, guys. But just once again, for maybe those that have just joined and those that are maybe new, as I say, Collective Consciousness is a show that's purely dedicated to mediumship, where myself and Phil will be attempting to conjoin information from our guides, our angelic helpers, our inspirers, and making that connection with the one recipient, blending into the same message. And hopefully, Phil, fingers crossed, it will all go well. What we're going to do is get producer Richard to roll the comments, roll them, Richard, randomize the comments, and whomever it is that we feel a pull to, or indeed where spirit are guiding us to go, we will attempt to make that connection and pass over message from your past loved ones, family members and friends. How does that sound with you, Phil?
That sounds good, Bill. Could I jump back to Suzanne, please?
Go for it.
Suzanne Riches would love a message, please. Okay, Suzanne, very nice to see you here this evening. And I'm getting a gentleman wanting to connect with you from Spirit, who I would put at the age of mid to late 50s, very calm disposition, and a gentleman that would have applied himself to anything that he did in life in a very practical and logical way. He's talking to me about passing probably at the age of, again, late 50s, early 60s, where his mind and his vision would not have been as clear as it was. So there seems to have been some problem around the head area with him. He's also talking about a shortage of breath before he passed, and he wants to be remembered to you with particular reference to the month of April. And the month of April being significant, not just in terms of his connection with you, but April as a time when you would, or rather were, preparing for an event which would certainly have changed the direction of your life in some significant way. He talks about being linked to your mother's side of the family, this gentleman, and he talks about expressing his love and his gratitude for everything that you did for him during his lifetime. He also takes me down to the area of Dorset, and he talks about Dorset as being a very, very important area for him when he was growing up, because again, he would have been a very, very keen reader of books and literature. And he is referencing Dorset as in the writer Thomas Hardy, and Thomas Hardy being important in terms of his style of writing and the way that he had the ability, like many authors, to transport the reader into the lusciousness of the countryside and the landscape of that time. And you live in Dorset, Suzanne. Good. Because he's giving me that as the locality. So I hope this is having significance for you, and that you can accept his message with the love with which it is given. So I don't know whether you want to contribute anything there, Bill.
Absolutely. It's funny that you said about books, Phil, because I was blending straight into his energies, and he was drawing me to the books that are sat behind you on your bookshelf. So I know that there's a love for reading, that we just want to be connecting with this gentleman. In fact, what I do feel I need to say is that he would have been somebody who was very well self-educated. He taught himself a lot from what it was that he put his nose into, if that makes sense. I was impacted immediately within my chest as well. I was feeling as though I was gasping for my breath, and in fact I felt as though I had somewhat of a lump in my throat. But as he gave that to me, I felt as though I just wanted to bring this into the physical at this moment in time, in the symbolic sense of the word, and be placing that around Susan. I feel as though at this moment in time we've had our words taken away from us, or we're feeling restricted as to what it is that we can say to others. This is all about being conscious and aware of what's going on around Suzanne herself with regards to her own energy admittance and what's actually coming in from outside. So we've got to be conscious here, Suzanne, about what it is that you're allowing into your four walls, you would understand, my lovely, as well. I know that with this gentleman as well, as he just steps that little bit closer to me, I do feel as though there is that fatherly link and that fatherly vibration that he just wants to wrap around me. And I know that there's a sense of him just wanting to be somewhat a little bit stand back or standoffish. Now, I feel as though he's just trying to give me a sense of understanding that this would have been his demeanour when he was here on Earthside. I feel as though he was one who wasn't able to openly be as expressive as he would have liked to have been. And again, I feel that we need to be acknowledging this as a generational aspect and a point of view. So he come from that generation where they weren't very expressive with regards to endearing or sharing endearing words here, my lovely. But I know that as he conjoins with me this evening, he wants to place a sense of love around you, and you are just giving feedback saying you are an avid reader yourself, which is absolutely fantastic. As I tap into avid reader for you, I also feel as I just want to place Catherine Cookson as a writer around you, and having a great interest within that genre of books as well, please, you would relate to and you would also understand. And for some reason, I just keep getting a strong sense of taste of hard toffee being placed within my mouth. You know the old-fashioned blocks, Phil, that you would have had to have smashed with a toffee hammer?
Yes.
He wants to place that on my palate at this moment in time. So I want to be sharing that with Suzanne right now and bringing that forward as a gift from him. I feel and I sense and I trust that this would have been something that he absolutely loved when he was here Earthside. Yes, that's right, Bill. Can't speak what I want at this moment in time. Okay, my darling. Well, we will send you.
And also, may I just come in there, Bill?
Absolutely.
Your father's making me want to sit up straight because I was slouching a bit. And he's saying that's something that he said it's very metaphorical because he's a gentleman that would always have stood up straight. He was very concerned with his posture and presenting a very strong, determined front. And he's talking about the fact that you have recently been involved in a situation where you needed to stand up for yourself more specifically than you have done. And he's talking about you bouncing back from a situation which really, really did knock you for six. And I want to go back about 13 or 14 months ago in linear time. And he said he's very proud of the way that you bounced back from that situation. And now he's talking about continue to stand up, to be resolute, and to be firm in your conviction about what you know is right in that debate that got out of hand and that you need now to really be in full control of. So that is what he wanted to communicate to you.
That's beautiful. Just before we send him back up there to the angels, there, Suzanne, I need to share a sense of healing and placing that around you. I feel as though as Dad gives this information to me, he also places the taste of Lucozade in my mouth. So I know that we're having somewhat of a dip with regards to wanting to boost up our blood sugars here. And again, we're not doctors, we don't diagnose, but would you understand what it is and the reason why he places that with me? Suzanne saying, yes, I have to stand up for myself, Phil, just giving feedback on what it is that you've shared with her there. And I also want to talk about hazelnuts. I don't know why he wants to give me hazelnuts at this moment in time there, Suzanne, but I know I just want to be placing handfuls of them and giving them to you with a smile on my face. So again, I feel this must be some type of fond memory that he wants to be sharing as he just starts to draw his energies that little bit further back from us. So we leave his love there with you. Say, God bless you. Thank you so much for allowing myself
Thank you,
to
Suzanne.
make this connection.
God bless.
And we'll leave his love there. God bless. That was a lovely message, wasn't it?
That was a good start, wasn't it, Bill?
Absolutely. So, producer Richard, would you roll them again, please? Roll them, roll them, roll them. Sue Raw, hi, Spirit of Love. Hello, Sue. June Malkin. Nicola, we'll see who we are drawn to now, Phil. Brilliant message, LJA. Trudy Hassan, beautiful messages. Hi there, Trudy. How are you? Kelly McKeating. Jojo. Christine Wheatley.
Is anyone standing out for you, Bill?
Do you know what? I felt a pull to Jojo just then.
Okay, I felt a pull to Trudy. So do you want to do Jojo first?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Could I have Jojo back on the screen, please, Richard? Thank you very much indeed. Jojo, as I just became conscious and opened to my awareness and your name popped up, I had this lady's energy just step forward to blend with me here this evening. I know that I want to work on a maternal vibration with her, please. I don't know if she wants to give me a sense of being drawn into your profile image that you've shared here on Facebook with regards to acknowledging that that was she, or indeed the reason why I want to be pulled to that, you would understand. But this lady resembles very much a liking to this lady in this profile picture of yours here, my lovely. I know with her as well, as she just starts to work that little bit closer to me, she does give me a sense of just wanting to place fatigue upon my body. And that's always my trigger to identify and understand that there would have been a process building up to my passing, as opposed to going over spirit side instantaneously with this lady. You would understand, please. She brings my awareness and wants to take me into the month of November as a month of acknowledgement for birthday, anniversary or passing, that you would understand, please. And she also shows me a helium balloon and she places that in my hand and just draws it back. So I know that I just want to be acknowledging a celebration that has just passed here as well, you would understand. She keeps touching me all over my head, God love her. So I know that as I connect with you and she, there is an understanding your side with regards to spiritual awareness or spiritual communication, and I do feel as though I'm going straight up to the head where you would get a sense and a feel of spirit placing themselves around you. So please do give me the feedback if this makes sense with you so far. I know that as she just brings me into current day and she wants to talk about what's going on around you and what's happening within your life, I feel absolutely worn out here, Jojo. So I know that there's not enough hours in the day for you to be fitting in what it is that you want to do. And she gives me a sense of wanting to say to you, let's just take a bit of a step back and just do one thing at a time, because I feel at this moment in time that I've got like 5 fingers being shown. So you're trying to do too many tasks at once. We need to kind of like hone that back and we need to be focusing on the one. You can understand a photo is your nan. God love you. Thank you so much. And you would understand that this is nan maternal side, and that's why I was getting that sense of wanting to draw into that acknowledgement of mother there as well, please, my lovely. She also says to me as well that my girl is very softly spoken. So I know that she's just trying to unfold a little bit more information about what's going on around you. And as we just touched on with our previous guest in message, I actually feel here that, Jojo, we need to be finding our voice. We need to be a little bit more expressive with regards to situation or circumstance that's being placed around you, and find that voice, or find that courage to bring forth the voice. You would understand, please, my lovely. Phil, I don't know if you've got anything that you want to add into this.
Yes,
please,
I
my
have,
friend.
Bill. I just wanted to come in on the Nan's condition before she passed, because I
Sure.
think you mentioned physicality, and I'm
Yes.
getting a really intense feeling of losing weight, shedding weight a lot, as though she was almost sort of disintegrating in some way. She also talked about her younger years, when she was a younger girl, when she felt that possessions or love or things that she held very dear were being taken away from her, or she was being deprived from some form of physical or spiritual love and nurturance and nourishment. And she said she doesn't want you to feel the same, because at times in your life you feel that you have had a lot of emotional nourishment taken away from you, and that you've been powerless to handle situations that you found yourself in. But I want to reassure you, Jojo, and say that now you're sort of getting your, let's call it a second wind, and you're starting to really rise like a phoenix from the ashes. You're starting to get your own sense of self-empowerment, and you're able to stand back and say, this is me, this is who I am, and if nobody likes it, they can stuff it. This is just where I am at this point in my life. She also talks about a gentleman that passed into spirit before her, and I don't know whether this was her husband, but she says she was very, very loving towards this gentleman, who was in some ways quite closed off and found it difficult to express himself. You also have concerns about your daughter, Jojo, who is trying to articulate her feelings, and you have been successful up to a point in helping her to articulate what she is feeling, but you feel you've reached a bit of an impasse on this, and you're hoping that things will shift. Well, they will shift, because your Nan is telling me that. Over to you, Bill.
She's bringing forward to share with you, Jojo, and I feel that this is a memory link association that I want to take you back in time with. She shows me a book, and as you're opening this book, you've got these characters that you can take out, and you can cut out of the book all these different outfits, and you can place them upon the character. And I feel as though this is a very, very loving fondness of time that would have been spent together doing so. She also gives me a sense of wanting to talk about Holly Hobbit as well. So I feel as though she's just drawing me back to your early childhood days and your passion and your love for these characters and these dressing up books that she would have maybe have purchased for you, or have sat at the table with you and engaged with. So please do give me the feedback and let me know if you can understand that. I also want to talk about charm bracelets. She keeps showing me charm bracelets. I feel as though she would have had a gold charm bracelet, but for some reason she wants to turn it silver, and she wants to drop this into your lap. And she keeps showing me like a genie's wishing lamp. So I don't know if there's a significance of that charm actually being exchanged between you both, or indeed if she just wants to place this in a symbolic fashion within my mind with regards to, let's just go into our mindset with regards to that wish and rubbing that lamp and making all of our dreams come true. Because I know that when she would have been here outside, as she still does spirit side here, she wants the best for you. She wants you to live out those dreams that it is that you have. She wants you to continue to drive forward and create such a bright future, not only for you, but for all those around you. And that's where I feel that I need to wrap this message up with she and you, unless there's anything else, Phil, that you'd like to add in before
Just
we
very
send
quickly,
it back
I don't know whether I'm referring to a sister here, Jojo, sister of yours, but or a very close friend. But she's talking about, don't worry too much about the sister, because there have been concerns, there have been problems around this sister or this very, very close friend that you would maybe think of as a sister, and she wants you to stop worrying because you are receiving help in that area. Your gran also takes me to Mile End, which she says was very significant for her in the earlier years of her life, Mile End. And those are the two final comments from me about this, Bill.
Perfect. Thank you, Phil. So Jojo, take her love. Thank you so much for allowing us to make this connection with you, and we will send her back off on her way to the angels. God bless you. There we go, Phil. Another lovely message passed over. Shall we get Richard to randomise those comments, or was it Trudy that
Trudy, yes, I just wanted Trudy Husson, I think it is.
Not a problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Hi. Lovely. Good evening, Trudy. Very nice to link with you. And as I link, Trudy, I'm getting the very strong presence of a gentleman on your father's side of the family, which I take to be your grandfather. And he's showing himself to me quite strong physically, way before his passing, in his younger, well, in his middle years, I would say. And he's talking to me about the strength that he had, the power that he had, and how he was didn't want to be caged in or repressed in any way in his life. So there would have been times when he wanted to take himself off to various places, traveling, or even to go on some kind of a retreat, just to be on his own and to digest his thoughts and his feelings. He's talking also about caring for a lady later in his life, and he says that when he cared for this lady, it took a lot of his strength, a lot of his energy and time, but he said he doesn't regret any of that at all. And he references caring because he said this is something that has come into play in your life a lot, where you have been put in positions of being a carer, and that you do this quite naturally. It doesn't come as a difficult task for you, and he congratulates you on that. He's also talking about the driving, and I don't know whether you drove a car at one time or whether you still drive a car, but he's talking about relaxing in the car. You don't need to bring tension to the process of driving. And he also talks about this driving force that sometimes you feel propels you through life when you don't have any control on the metaphorical brakes. So that is a significant point that he really wants to mention, slowing up and giving more time to yourself. And he puts that in the context of driving a car and just needing to slow down. You understand that fully, Trudy. Thank you. And I hope you understand the description and his caring reference as well. Over to you, Bill.
Thank you. Now I know Trudy. I'm not going to pretend that I don't because she's joined me on the show. But straight away for me, Trudy, I've made connection here with Mum, and very excited about the fact that you're here this evening. And I know that as she just starts to unfold a little bit of information surrounding you, because I've asked her, I know about you, I've worked with you before, give me some information that's going to be very relatable that will bring me into present day with Trudy. First of all, she just keeps bringing a sense of cigarette smoke under my nose. So I know that she must have been a smoker, or there was a heaviness of smoking around her. And again, bringing you back into childhood memory days with regards to looking at those ornate glass ashtrays that I feel would have been very evident within the home. You would understand. I feel as though I just want to be drawn onto a fireplace in particular where they would have been stored. But she's very excited at the fact of joining here this evening because she keeps saying to me, you've now found the place that you need to be in. So I know that as you're starting and embarking on this new process of your own spiritual journey here, we're moving onwards and upwards. You've found your own. That's what she keeps saying to me. She's found her own. She's found her own. And I feel as though I'm sitting very confidently as she places that information there with me. And it's really strange that she wants to say to me, and you're finally out of that room. So I don't know if you've been locking yourself or containing yourself within a room within the home, and you've been closing yourself away or shutting yourself away from the shenanigans of family life. But I'm glad that you're now out of that, you would understand. I know that as she joins with me, she places a great sense of healing around you. And I know that that's very evident, and wanting to be sharing that very much so with you present day, you would understand. But she keeps saying to me, tell her I've got her back. Tell her I've got her back. Yes, heavy smoking. Yep, big ashtrays. But she made them too. Aha, fabulous. That's why she was bringing my mind into that focus there. She's got your back, sweetheart. And you would know this anyway. You're a spiritually open individual, as I've openly said to everybody that's joining here this evening. But there's a lot of different changes of direction that are taking place here with you. I know that as she just places this information here with me now, I've got a sense of wanting to say to you, I want to put that creative side just to one side at this moment in time, because I feel as though it's time to allow mediumship. It's time now to allow that psychic blend to take the forefront and put the creative side just on hold. Would this make sense with you as well, please, Trudy? Please do let me know if it does. I know as well that we're just acknowledging her celebration of life, and she wants to take me back around about 2 months here. You can understand, you can take the situation with the room as well. Yes, perfect. I know that I just want to go back, as I say, 2 months with regards to celebration. This would either be celebration of life, or indeed this would be an anniversary or birthday that she just connects between the two of you, you would understand. Thank you, and need that healing very much so. She gave me a great sense that she's got you back, and she's pulling the force of all those healing angels in around you as well, my lovely. And don't ever change, she keeps saying to me, don't ever change. So if you've been in a position, Trudy, this is a telling off for you now. If you've been placing yourself in a position where you felt as though you've needed to change to fit into the dynamics of others' ideals or ways, don't do it. Stay firm, stay true to yourself. I'm going to leave her love there with you. Say God bless you.
Yep.
Thank you so much for letting me make the connection. I'm going to hand over to Phil because I think he's got something else he wants to add in as well.
Yeah, just to pick up on the last point that Bill made, Trudy, there does seem to have been a lot of frustration around you at not getting to where you think you should have been or ought to have been by now. And I think Bill's sort of message summed that up really, that, you know, there is a time and a place, and it's just about a sense of patience and knowing that you have everything you need. You have all the ammunition to get where you need to be when you need to be there. So I just want you to bear that in mind. Your mum talks about a skin condition that was intermittent with her during her lifetime, where she would come up in a rash on her arms and sometimes around her ankles as well. So she's giving that as evidence. She's also talking about ornaments in her home, and that after her passing, some ornaments, 2 in particular, were moved from the place they've been standing for many, many years to another part of the room. So ornaments that were moved. She says she's met her beloved dog, or a beloved dog, in the spirit world, and she's holding and cuddling the dog very, very tenaciously. She's also, for some reason, talking about television. She's talking about the actor John Thor, Inspector Morse. And I don't know whether she had a particular liking for John Thor, but she says, tell her John Thor, tell her John Thor. Lastly, typical of her generation, instead of referring to salt and pepper on pots on the table, she's referring to the cruets, which I remember my nan referring to. Oh, I must have my cruets in the right place on the table. So she laughs about that. She says that's just a bit of, you know, incidental information she wanted to give you. That's my wrap up, Bill.
Oh, that's absolutely lovely. So we're going to send her off on her way, Trudy, but I'm just leaving you with this. Remember the 5th of November. I don't know if she just wants to bring the excitement and the memory link association back to fireworks, or if indeed the 5th of November is a date of significance that she just wants to place in fond memory. So we're going to leave her love there, say God bless you. Thank you so much for holding space with us and allowing us to make a connection with you this evening. And she's saying thank you, Phil, and yes to the skin condition.
Sure.
And that's also with herself. And thank you both so much. Appreciated. You're welcome, Trudy. God bless. Right, producer Richard, roll them again, Richard, roll them again, Richard. Whilst we've got this energy going, let's see who else it is that we can make a connection with. We've got the lovely Debbie Romero. Love this, I built and Phil. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Debbie. Lovely.
It's Debbie that's done the roll them, Richard.
Good evening, Leslie Moulton. Dear Leslie from Wimbledon. Another one ball. Just as you're rolling these names, Richard. Sorry?
I was just saying we've got Heavenly Sprinkles, Claire Pasterfield, who's also a host here.
I just wanted to say on here, a lady has recently changed her hairstyle. I know that happens quite frequently with ladies, but this particular lady has changed her lifestyle. And at first she was very, oh my God, what have I done? I can't believe I did that. And now it's given her a new sense of empowerment and strength. So she's realizing that that change of hairstyle was not just her choice, it was the choice of spirit that are motivating her to look at herself in a way that she's refused to look at herself before, and that will galvanize her into action. And the old person, the old lady is out there, the new lady is sitting here and ready for action. So I just wanted to throw that into the mix. Whoever that is.
Fabulous, fabulous. Let's see if we can make this or connect this into somebody who's going to roll up on these comments. So as I say, we've had Claire, who's just placed a comment from Heavenly Sprinkles. Who else have we got here, Richard? Spirit of Love. Hi, Terry. Alana Losi. Ben Davies. Cara Steele. Sylvia Mearns. Bev Ridley. LJA. Nicola.
Are you getting anybody, Bill?
I'm not feeling in yet. Who have you got?
I've got one for Ben Davis.
Go for it.
Go back.
Yep, go for it.
Trudy has changed the colour of her hair.
The colour of the hair. That's where you've got the.
Have we got Trudy online? Who is Trudy?
We just read.
Oh, that Trudy.
Is that Trudy?
Okay. Okay, Ben. Good evening, Ben. And lovely to. I was expecting Ben to say hello. Good evening. Anyway. So used to being on Zoom and doing the actual voice. Ben, I'm linking to a young gentleman who would have passed into spirit probably at the age of late 30s, early 40s, from quite a sudden or a very short illness. And I'm definitely feeling a cancerous condition with him. He's a friend, he's not a member of the family, and he wants to link with you just to say, hello, my friend. I'm very pleased that I'm able to do this evening and to reconnect with you and to thank you for all the help that you give people, which doesn't always receive a thank you. But he said, you know, you are on the right track, doing the right work in the place and time that you need to be doing that work. And he wants to just give you his love and thanks for everything. Thank you, I will. Everything you did for him, and particularly helping him to get through a time when it was difficult around his mother and things that were going on in his family, and how he was struggling emotionally to come to terms with events and conditions that were prevalent in his life at that time. So he just wants to say thank you to you, Ben. And I hope that you can understand that.
Let's hope that Ben gives some feedback. So Ben, if you're still with us, please do give us some feedback so that we know that that information's been placed correctly with you there, my friend. And saying thank you, I appreciate it, which is absolutely fantastic. You know, Phil, as you were just opening up the sense of wanting to talk about a gentleman, my energies went to my tummy.
I was going down there.
Tummy. Yeah. And I've got a great sense of a lot of discomfort there, but I also feel as though I just need to share impact as well around my tummy area. So again, I don't know if I place that with your communicator or indeed if I'm placing this with slightly older gentlemen that I feel I'm blending my energies in with as I'm connecting there with Ben. And Ben, I know this is really random, and we do get some really random stuff from time to time. But I just want to be going underneath my armpits as well. So I don't know if there was a sense of there being an illness that travelled around body, but he makes me feel as I just want to go in under my armpits. I want to talk about lymph nodes as well. So there must have been some type of cancerous condition that would have been placed. You're saying, okay, my granddad, perfect, thank you. And you would understand about this condition just spreading, but I feel uncomfortable, as I say, tummy area and underneath my armpits as well there. And I'm very proud of you as an individual, my friend, because I feel as though I just need to be saying to you, he gives me a sense that there's been a lack of guidance around you from dominant male member figures of the family, and the role that it is that you've stepped into and the man that it is that you've become has all been self-taught, and he really wants to give you a pat on the back for doing so there. I know that he shares that information with me as well, my friend. I also feel as though there is an expanse of you being admired not only by younger members of the family here, you would understand, but I want to just go somewhat outside into the wider community here, because I know that as he connects with me and he shares the information about you, I feel as though I'm giddy and I'm really excited to be around you as a child. So there's lots of children that live in great admiration and love the light bulb that it is, the light that you shine and you radiate. You're a great magnet there, and I feel as though he just wants me to say to you, well done, well done for being a fantastic role model for these younger individuals. And there we go. It's just popped up. Yes, 100% lack of role models as well. So he's really proud of that sense. I know with him as well, Ben, that he just makes me want to go into his physicality somewhat a little bit more so here now. In fact, as I just open myself up and start seeing him visually here, I want to stand just under 6 foot with him, and I want to be quite detailed within my frame. What I mean by this as well, my friend, is that he actually gives me a sense of looking at these broader shoulders that he had, and I know that those shoulders would have carried a lot, not only physically with regards to an acknowledgement of his work. I know he was manual, but he had broad shoulders because he had to carry a lot of problems and issues on them as well, you would understand. And it is, yes, with the cancerous condition that would have connected to him as well that you're confirming. Bless you. But he just kind of like tapers down in his physique as he starts showing me here, and he's a very well turned out individual as well. Okay, so I know with him he dresses within that traditional sense. I know that I've got a love for a tie with him, but I also feel as though I need to show you how to knot a tie. So again, I feel I'm just sharing experience here. And I feel that as he gives this tie to me, it's one that is already made up. So all you've got to do is just slip it over your head and push the knot up there. And you would understand as well the simple things in life with regards to mastering tying shoelaces. There's a scenario going on around you now currently, you would understand, where you're showing somebody how to tie their shoelaces as well. He did carry issues, but he kept them to himself. I know that, my friend, but he just shares that with me. I've also feel, just before I hand back over to you, I've also just got a sense of displacement in my back, in my lower back here. So Ben, I don't know if you're carrying or you've been burdened with some type of issue here, my friend, towards the lower base of your spine, but he just places that around me. So I know that I need to request from those healing angels a sense of healing to be placed around you at this moment in time as well, my friend. Yes, he always wore a tie. Thank you. Phil, over to you, my friend.
Thank you, Bill. I think you were referring to the grandfather, weren't you, Bill, on this link? Yes. I'm going back to this younger man again, Ben, because I'd like to really place him. And I hope that you could understand what I gave you before regarding his disposition and the fact that he wanted to thank you for all the help you gave him, particularly with regards to his family issues, his mother in particular. He's talking to me about Gloucestershire, He's taking me to the county of Gloucestershire. He's also talking about, he's playing Robbie Williams music to me. And he's kind of saying, yeah, move to the groove, man, move to the groove. He's showing himself with dark hair. He's particularly keen on sports. He's a sporty guy. He's also taking me up to Scotland because he said that is a place where you can get a great deal of freedom. You can get a great deal of relaxation. And it's an energy that suits you in Scotland, up in the Highlands of Scotland. He says, get the group going again, whatever that means, get the group going again. And he talks also about the date of July 23 as being significant in some way. So I hope you can confirm on some of those facts, Ben, and thank you very much for working with me.
Bless you. Thank you, Phil. That was a lovely message. Ben, we shall leave the love of both of these individuals with you there, my friend. And again, we'd appreciate any feedback that you can give with regards to what Phil's just shared there for you. Now, guys, I hope that you there you go. Yes, his ashes are in Scotland, Phil. Bang on. Well done. How amazing is that? Guys, we hope that you're enjoying tonight's show. Yes, family Gloucester, he can also take that as well. Bang on. Well done, Phil. I'm going back to you guys again, back at home. But I hope you're enjoying this evening's show. We are going to take a short break where you will see what's coming up on SPTV tomorrow and beyond. Don't go anywhere. Please remember, do sharing us out there if you haven't done so already. Tag your family members and your friends, and we'll see you in 2.
The SPTV Divine Guidance Oracle Pack, a unique blend of inspiration and artistic beauty. Our captivating set of 78 cards combines the power of ancient archetypes, celestial guidance, and the essence of life itself to provide you with a unique tool for self-discovery, clarity, and transformation, all lovingly housed within an exclusive rigid box. The pack includes a booklet that delves into every card in detail, some of which carry dual meanings for deeper interpretation. The booklet also features 8 distinctive card spread layouts. Among these treasures, you'll discover 22 major arcana, 9 main archangels, 4 elements, and 40 life cards, each a work of art, radiating beauty and delivering profound messages that resonate deeply within your being. The SPTV Divine Guidance Pack, where beauty meets enlightenment. Pre-order today and unlock the extraordinary wisdom that awaits you. To be among the pioneers in experiencing our forthcoming collection and to reserve your pack in advance, as well as to access more details, including a sample audio description, kindly visit sptv.uk/cards.
Join us at the Bognor Regis Spiritualist Centre for a captivating mediumship demonstration on Saturday the 11th November from 7:30 p.m. Experience an evening of connection with the spiritual realms, featuring the talents of Bill Hughes, David Hale, and Caroline Johnson. For more information and to book tickets, please visit bognorspiritualistcentre.co.uk.
Love it.
If only you all knew what was being discussed backstage before we come back out here live.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. That was very close, producer Richard. He always brings the naughty out on this show, Phil. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. He presents this butter wouldn't melt kind of personality,
Absolutely.
And he's completely the opposite.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Guys, we hope you're enjoying the show. Thank you for holding space here with us this evening. For those of you that have maybe just joined, Collective Consciousness is a show that's purely dedicated to mediumship, and it unites myself with a guest medium every fortnight, and this evening's guest medium is the lovely Phil Shaw. We are going to make a few more connections. So we're going to get producer Richard to randomize and roll the comments to see whom it is that we feel a draw to wanting to connect with next. So would you please be so very kind, producer Richard? Montana Lee Parsons, tuning in from West Virginia. Hope you're both doing well. Thank you so much for your time and being here for everyone. Bless you. Brenda Walker, is also joining here. Brenda Walker is joining via Facebook. Anne Swantek is joining via YouTube. The lovely Patrick Monaghan is joining via
Patrick.
Facebook. Can we stay with Patrick, actually? Because as I've just said, Patrick, do you know what? I've just got this wave of heartburn that's just been placed upon me here, Phil.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I've got this wave of heartburn, and it's going right up into my throat. So, you know, when you would taste it. So, Patrick, I don't know if we just need to be sending out a little bit of healing your way at this moment in time, my friend, but I certainly just get a sense of wanting to discuss that and open the platform on that part of the information straight away there for you. I've got a lady who just steps forward to connect here with you this evening, Patrick, and she talks to me about the name Maggie or Margaret. So I know that she would connect on to mum's side of the family. I don't feel this is mum. I feel as though I'm going into mum's side of the family as I connect with her. You would understand, please, my friend. And I know with her that as she just gives me a sense and an understanding about her physicality, I want to be taken down in height with her, but I do want to be filled out somewhat in stature and frame size as well, please. You would understand. I know with her as well, she wants to take me into her cheeks. She wants to show me her cheeks. I feel as though there would have been like significance with regards to them having a bit of a droop to her face, you would understand, please, Patrick. And I know with her as well that she's a great conversationist, because I'm saying to her, can you please slow down, because she's talking really, really fast in my ear at this moment in time. Mum's sister, God bless you. You would understand about how quickly she spoke, to the point where, like, is she going to draw for breath? And she's going to take a pause here for the moment. But again, I just feel that this is a build-up of excitement as well for she, as she makes the connection here with you this evening. I for some reason as well, she wants to talk, she wants to talk to me about a boil on her arm. There must have been significance where she would have suffered with boils or a boil on her arm, please, my friend. Could you just confirm that and let me know if you understand what it is that she means by sharing that information there with me as well? But a very hardy individual. And what I mean by that is this lady was very, very adept to all of the elements throughout all of the season changes throughout the year. Irish talk fast, absolutely. That's what I'm saying to her. Slow down, my friend. But you would understand about how adept she was. Really hardy as an individual. I know that she's a grafter as well, because she just shows me her hands, and I know that she would have been somebody that had them in the soil. She takes me to the outside of her home. She shows me, she gives me an understanding about feeding from the land, growing on the land as well there. I know with her as well, she takes me inside of the home. She's got a huge pot that's just on the boil on the, I want to say, Aga here as well. She's got a huge pot that's just on the boil, and she's just adding to this continuously. This pot never goes down. Not sure, but you have a cut on yours. Bless you. Okay, look, sometimes we don't always get it right, but I knew that she was showing me a boil on my arm and the significance of it. So again, healing coming your way there, my friend. This pot's never ending. So for me, that's a great understanding to acknowledge that there would have been lots of mouths that this lady would have fed here as well. So I want to be pulled into the dynamics of her own family life here. And I like a bit of frill with this lady. I like a little bit of chintz with her. She starts to take me around her home. I know that I need to be talking about dark wood furniture as well, because she shows that to me within my line of sight. Yes, she was very hard working. Thank you. And I know that she really did have a love for her home as well. And there was an open door, an old style one. That's obviously the Aga that you're giving me feedback to. I've got an open door, but do you know what? I also feel as though I've got one of those old cottage style doors here, Phil. You know, the ones where they would open at the top?
Yeah,
because she shows me herself just leaning out over the top and admiring the view that she's just looking at here. And again, there's an expanse of space around her family home. I can smell the turf here as well, Patrick. So I know that actually, I feel as though her hands, when she showed me her hands, they would have actually have cut the turf. She would have cut the turf. She would have brought that turf back into the home. She would have used that as her fuel as well. There, you would understand, please, my friend. Okay. And I know with her as well that I've got a sense of there being teeth missing in my mouth, because she just takes me to a loss of teeth within her mouth. I don't need to see no dentist. Oh my God, she was such a hardy individual. I feel that she would have pulled her own teeth out as well. Can you understand that as well, please, Patrick? Stable type door. Perfect. Thank you very much indeed. I'm going to hand over to Phil so I can get rid of this feeling of my teeth being pulled out at this moment in time, my friend.
Thank you,
Over
Bill.
to you, Phil.
She's banging her fist down, Patrick, and she's saying you have to stand up for yourself. It's no good taking a back seat on the issue that has been surrounding you over the past 3 to 4 months. It's so important that you take a stand on this, Patrick. She's showing herself to me as a very sophisticated lady in her youth and through most of her life. She has very piercing eyes, and you could always tell when she walked in a room. People would notice, feel her presence. She had a very fine intellect. She was very interested in worldwide politics and also history. She said, if I had another lifetime, I would come back as an explorer, because she had a very explorative nature. She was also very artistic, but didn't pursue that on a professional level, although there was artistry within her creative ability. She was also quite psychic, but again, it wasn't something that she pursued professionally, although she would come out with quite prophetic statements from time to time. She's talking about her mother liking jellied eels, which is something I can't stand. But anyway, she mentions jellied eels. She also talks about, Bill was mentioning the stable, the door. She's talking about her stairs, which weren't long stairs, but I think the second stair down from the top, there was something wrong with the rail on that stair, and people had said to her, get that fixed for goodness sake, and she didn't get it fixed. It was remaining like that for many, many, many years, and she was very adamant about the fact that if she thought something should be as it was, it would stay as it was. That's basically it. Also to say she's met Samuel in spirit, and she refers to Samuel as opposed to Samuel in spirit. So that's my 2 Pennyworth, Bill.
How lovely. I'm going to leave a love with you, Patrick. I just need to say to you, from get the guttering sorted. So we'll send her back off up to the angels. I hope that fits and you can understand why she shared that. And we'll say, God bless you, Patrick, and thank you so much for allowing us to make this connection with you this evening.
Thank you, Patrick.
Shall we roll them again, see where else it is that we feel drawn to working?
He says, I ripped those stairs out.
Ah, interesting. Roll them, please, Richard. Is Richard still with us?
Gone down the pub.
Oh, there we go. They're rolling. He's rolling. So we've got Natalie Bentley, Heidi Hancock,
and Suru. Christine Wheatley. Christine Davis. Thought that was all the time, Stace. Okay. Can I go back to Christine, please? Christine Davis. Yeah, okay. Christine, I know I've spoken to you before in the past. I don't know that much about your family history, but I'm very conscious of your dad, your father, and wanting to send you a greeting and laughing because he says that you have metaphorically tripped yourself up a few times recently and thought, maybe I shouldn't have said that when I said it to whoever I said it to. And you've laughed about that. And he's saying, there you see, spontaneity, instinct pays off. So he's really encouraging you to use your spontaneity more, to use your instinct when spirit really nudges you. Because it seems as if recently, Christine, certainly over the past 5 or 6 months, you've taken a bit of a back seat where your development's concerned. And I know you're quite an enterprising person, but you somehow feel that maybe you're running too fast, you need to slow down. But he said, go at that pace, because your ability is increasing all the time. So is your healing ability. And he particularly highlights the healing ability. He suffered from a loss of hearing before he passed into spirit. And he's talking about that loss of hearing. And I don't know whether he listened to a lot of classical music, but he's talking about Beethoven, the composer Beethoven in particular, and Beethoven's Third Symphony. Now, I don't know whether that's significant for you, but he does mention that. So I'll just pause there for a moment and see if Bill has anything to say about this gentleman.
I want to bring in steam railways. I want to talk about I want to talk about coal as well. And I wanted to. Oh, there we go. Look, producer Richard actually felt that as well, guys. How phenomenal is that? We've got a freeway link going on. Yeah, I mean, if you want, Richard, you can unmute yourself and you can jump in on it as well. But no, I want to talk about steam railways, and I also feel as though I need to be talking about the significance of coal. But he brings that into the house. Now, I know years ago that the majority of homes were fueled by coal. So I know that sounds quite cliche, but there's got to be some type of significance of why he wants to bring that into discussion at this moment in time with Christine. I feel as though I just want to be talking about a new sense of heating her home. I don't know, Christine, if you're looking at one of these burners that you want to install within the house. But I'm certainly getting a sense of just wanting to say to you, go for it. So if this is something that you've been toying with the idea of, you've not quite put it into practice, go for it. I also know with him as well that he gives me a sense of my arms really aching, Phil. So I know with him that I want to be very manual with the way that he would have approached his work life. I don't want to be somebody that I feel sits behind a desk and pushes a pen here. This is what are my tools, and this is what brings the money home, you would understand. But I know, oh my God, I've just got heartburn. Oh, crikey. Okay. But I know with him that I've got the soft tone energy. He liked steam engines. Perfect. I've got the soft tone energy of a lady who I depict to be his love, his partner. And I do feel as though we had an open fire as well. I do feel as though I'm very chalk and cheese within my dynamics and character between the two. I do know that there was a lot of what I perceived to be disagreements, you would understand, but disagreements in the context that there was still so much love placed between them, and that's what just made the cogs of this mechanics of their relationship work here, you would understand, Christine. He was a manual man as well. I do feel that this lady comes in on a maternal vibration, so I do feel as though I want to be linking in with mum spirit side here as well. Please, my lovely, you would understand. But a real genteel softness to her character, and I feel the reason why she places that with me at this moment in time is because I feel we need to be a little bit more gentle with you, Christine, or everybody needs to be dealing with you with a slightly softer approach. I feel at this moment in time that my mindset feels a little bit overconsumed and a little bit wavy, which would tap into what you opened the message up with there, in fact, Phil. And I just want a different approach. That's all I keep hearing. A different approach. So whether or not, again, this ties in with the spiritual aspect that you were talking about here, Phil, and the journey.
I think it does.
Mum and him split when you were 6. Bless you. but I feel as though I just want a slightly softer approach into that. Would that make sense with you, Christine? Please do let me know. But know that she just wraps you up with a great sense of love at this moment in time. I feel that you've been asking for a great level of support. We know that you're spirit conscious and that you serve spirit yourself. To trust in that process that they place around you when they're giving you those little signs and those little indicators. Don't be so, what's that word I'm looking for? Don't push it to one side, or don't be so dismissive. And again, let me know if that relates. I'm going to hand over to Phil now.
Right, Christine, I'm not letting go on this Beethoven thing, because he's talking to me about Beethoven being a metaphorical figure, because Beethoven himself went deaf shortly before his own passing, so he had to compose his Ninth Symphony when he was literally stone deaf. And your dad's talking about the fact that you're not going deaf in any way, shape or form, but you're not hearing something that you need to be hearing, which is something that has been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And he said it's time to hear it, it's time to listen to it, and it's time to stand up for it and do something and make your mark. There's a sense of obstinacy about your attitude to this particular situation, which will ultimately benefit you. And it's all tied in, as Bill said, with your spiritual and mediumistic work. Again, Beethoven was a very obstinate man, a very obstinate individual. So there are parallels to be drawn here. And also, I don't normally give spirit guides, but in your case, Christine, I'm going to talk about a Navajo Indian that has been with you some time. He's been most certainly affecting your sense of balance, because he said your energies need rebalancing in order to bring about a change in the way that you heal, in the way that you approach healing, and the methods that you use also for your mediumistic work. So I just want to leave that with you, please, Christine, and you can mull that over. And also the third symphony I gave you, it's because the number 3 refers to a trinity. And there is a trinity situation with 3 people involved in your life. And I feel that that has something to do with this situation of you not hearing something that needs to be heard and that you need to deal with. So I'll wrap it up there. Thanks, Christine.
Thank you, Christine, for allowing us to make this connection with you and for holding space here with us this evening. God bless you. Well, Mr. Shaw, we have come to time already. Just like that, just as we were getting started, we've come to time. Thank you very much for being part of the show this evening and sharing your gifts and your talents and your link with spirit to all of our viewers. Once again, just let everybody know where it is that they can find you.
Yes, you can find me on Facebook at Phil Shaw Spiritualist Medium. Also the same Phil Shaw Spiritualist Medium on Instagram. And my email is philesoteric, ESOTERIC, @gmail.com. So you're very welcome to contact me via email or on my Facebook page, which, as I said, is at Phil Shaw Spiritualist Medium. Thank you very much. It's been a privilege to be here, Bill. And thank you, Richard.
Thank you so much.
Overseeing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining, Phil. Guys, do make sure that you give Phil's page on social media a like and a follow. Some of the feedback, that was fantastic. You're great together. That was magic, says June Malkin. Thank you, June. Julie, all three wonderful mediums tonight. God bless you, Julie.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you so much. Christine says, Bill, all made sense. See you in November. Oh, you must be coming to the demonstration of mediumship at Bognor Regis Spiritualist Centre. So we look forward to seeing you there. Oh, you'll be there, won't you, Richard? Spirit of Love, Phil says, that was fantastic, Bill and Phil. Thank you so much, Spirit of Love.
Thank you very much.
Kelly McKeaton, thanks for a lovely show as always. Big love to all. Guys, thank you so much. We really do appreciate you holding space.
Thank you, Leslie.
We appreciate you sharing us out there and tagging your family members and friends. Leslie, again, thank you so much, as Phil just said, for holding space. Now, guys, I'll be back again in 2 weeks' time. Phil, once again, God bless you. Thank you so much for holding space.
Thank you,
and until everybody, we all meet again, may the love and the light of spirit hold you close. Take care. God bless. Good night, everyone.
God bless. Good night.